I wanted to just connect with all of you and let you know that a community, our community, our advanced community, as one community, is a group of people that share the same principles and share the same ideas. And if you're part of this community, it means on some level that you believe that the way you think and the way you feel has some effect on your life. And communities are built on the exchange of ideas, and the exchange of ideas is really how we communicate. The other thing is the agreement on those ideas. If we share the same understanding of possibility, if we share the same understanding of quantum physics and the scientific model of how mind affects the nature of reality, then we'd have to understand mind and its intricacies and the neuroscience of neuroplasticity and how your mind affects your body. And is there electromagnetism that is the result of thoughts and feelings? And can we change our gene expression? And all of these different idealisms tend to create a bond or create a community. But one of the other things that's so important that I find really valuable, when we learn something new, we see possibilities we didn't see before. And so many people in this community, your community, are asking really good questions. How do I heal my body? How do I produce elevated emotions? They ask for help and recommendations on what book to read, where should they start, what meditations to get, how do I become abundant? And the fact that you're asking how is really important because information, knowledge, understanding, philosophy, theory is the first step to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. But when you make the effort, really make the effort to get started and initiate what you've learned into a practical experience, now you're putting the rubber to the road. And those questions should come up because the how means you want to understand better what you're doing and why you're doing it. So then our scientific model of understanding helps people to understand what they're doing and why. Our community of people, from its uniqueness, is that we're doers. We are interested in creating new experiences. Now, whether that experience is healing yourself or staying awake during your meditation, if you're asking questions on epigenetics or how do I produce elevated emotions, it means on some level you are making an effort to advance the understanding through experience. So doing it then causes you to start asking more profound questions, and those questions we have done our best in the books, in YouTube, in some of the courses that we created, and all of the different ways to give you information to keep you inspired. And when you become inspired, you see a possibility that you haven't seen before, and that possibility causes your body to feel energy. You're tapping into an energy or an emotion of the future. And so let's talk about some of the practical applications, because I do want to inspire you that people in this work are healing their bodies. They are creating abundance. They are creating new lives, new relationships. They are having mystical moments that transcend language. But they all started at a certain point of understanding, and it was the practice that caused them to get better at it. And so we have a formula that we have been studying through all the research that we have been doing. And that formula has everything to do with operating your brain at the most efficient level to create a certain level of coherence in your brain, a certain level of holism and order. And that coherent brain allows you to hold a thought, a dream, or a concept without other circuits in your brain distracting you from that vision. And it is a frontal lobe activity.
Your true power is the key to amazing life. Get the help you need to access your true power in the next part of the video.
People wake up in the morning and they don't feel anything, and all of a sudden their brain is a record of the past. They start thinking about all their problems, and those problems are memories of certain people and objects and things at certain times and places. And if how you think and how you feel creates your state of being, that person's starting their day with their entire state of being in the past. So if they're living in the familiar past and they're in the known, they're going to create the predictable future. So they're going to run through a series of routine behaviors in their day, and they're going to want to know the feeling of every experience in their life. Well, if you can predict the feeling of every experience in your life, that's more of the known. So now, the person who's now living in that future known reality, how are they going to change? Well, the moment you make a decision and you come out of your resting state and you begin to say, I don't care what's going on in my life, environment. I don't care what people think, environment. I don't care how I feel, body. I don't care how long it takes, time. I'm going to do this. And the hair on the back of your neck stands up. That's a new electrochemical signal to the body. This is the body saying, he's serious this time. It's like jumping on a horse and wrapping your legs around and giving it a kick. The body's like, ooh, we're going to ride now. It's no longer, oh, geez, I think I'm going to change tomorrow. Right. This is a strong signal, and that becomes a long-term memory. That moment defines the person. So then the stronger the emotion, if the emotion of inspiration is greater than the emotion of suffering from the past experience, the stronger the emotion they feel, the more they pay attention to the picture in their mind. We could say they're remembering their future, and they're beginning to brand that circuitry in their brain and send a new emotional signature to their body. And in a sense, they're creating a coherent, clear intention with an elevated, coherent heart emotion. And now they're broadcasting a whole new signature. And that's dropping a big stone in a very placid lake. And here come the waves. That's moving right out into reality. And the person is beginning to change their energy. And nobody changes until they change their energy. And when they change their energy, they change their life. And what's the cool part? The cool part is you start seeing the breadcrumbs coming from the universe. You start saying, keep going, Brian. You're starting to see these synchronicities and these coincidences and these opportunities. And people say, I'm not doing anything. Well, of course you're not doing anything like in the same way you've done everything. You're changing your energy, and now it could be that simple. In the present moment, you start seeing feedback coming into your world. I think that's what people want. And you could have a master's or a doctorate degree. You could have a high school education. You could be overweight. You could be underweight. You could be sick. You could be healthy. You could be young. You could be old. Nobody is so special to be excluded from that phenomenon.